Welcome to the Refuel, Rebuild and Reignite podcast. This is our fourth episode since we've been doing it in the podcast format, and it's gone down so well so far with all the guys in our Refuel, Rebuild and Reignite community, and also you guys out there. And if there are any videos at all that you think will be beneficial for you guys, that are going to help you get into shape physically, get into shape mentally, but also be able to sustain that long term, just let me know, and I will do my very best to make them videos especially for you. And remember, if you like these videos and you enjoy them and you're taking something away from them, please like, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff that you're meant to do with YouTube videos. So today I'm going to be talking about my 10 top tips for incredible energy. Now, what I find at least 95% of the time is the busy working men that I work with, they all know what they need to be doing to burn body fat, to build muscle. The problem is, it's not a knowledge issue, it's actually an implementation issue, and usually the issue comes from the simple fact that they don't have enough energy and they feel drained all the time. And then they think it's actually motivation. Motivation is not usually the issue. People want to get to where they want to get to. However, they don't have the energy to actually go and get it done. And there's lots of reasons for that, family life, shift patterns, stresses of work. And when we look at energy, there's not just physical energy we want to be thinking about. We want to be thinking about emotional energy, mental energy as well, because if you're absolutely drained mentally and emotionally, no amount of sleep is going to, build that energy up, if you will. So here are my 10 big tips to build that energy, because we know what it can be like at the end of the day when you come home from work. You've had a long, stressful day, you're worn out, you reach for a beer, you might get a takeaway, and then the knock-on effect is you feel worse and worse as things go on. So anyway, here are my top 10 tips that are going to help you feel great and actually give you the energy to want to follow through. So number one is remove energy vampires from your life, or at least limit your time with them. Now, the issue with these kind of people are sometimes they are family members. So you can't completely get rid of them. Like some people will turn around and say, you've got to be ruthless, you've got to get rid of these people. Like sometimes that's not practical. But really limiting your time with these people. And what do I mean by energy vampires? We've all got them people in our lives that moan about the same problems all the time, but then do nothing to change it. Almost like victims. There's always an issue. There's they watch the news all the time and then they complain about everything that's going on in the world. They never take responsibility for anything. Everything's always someone else's fault. And spending time with them people can literally suck the energy out of you. So it's important to really, really limit your time with these people, and you'll be surprised how much extra energy you will actually have. So number two is a little bit of a knock-on to that as well, and that's stop watching the news. I personally don't watch the news. I can't stand it. The only thing that you ever get in the news is a crisis, a war, a scandal. And also as well, people are always talking about things that are going to divide people. They know are going to split people. People talk about the left, talk about the right. Like at the end of the day, I've got my opinions on certain things, but at the end of the day, the news is literally there to trigger people, to get them debating, to get them arguing. If you literally remove all that from your life and only focus on the things that you can actually control, that is worth controlling and worth giving a shit about. We've only got so many shits to give during a lifetime. And watching the news can take up so much energy because you start getting pissed off about the things that you have absolutely no control over. So stop watching the news. Like some of these 10 tips are going to be a little bit outside the box. There's obviously going to be a few, what I would say, quote unquote, boring ones in there. But a lot of these, are a little bit different. It's not just going to be your water intake and all that kind of stuff. We're going to be talking about, your environment and everything like that as well. So if you just see me leaning forward a little bit there, I've got my 10 here, so I'm not having to just ring them off the top of my head. So number 3 is spend more time with people that actually inspire you, that lift you up, that make you laugh, that you enjoy being around. When you do this and you feed off their energy, or you're spending time with people that, you aspire to be like. People always say, you become the product of the 5 people you spend most time with. I don't strictly believe that. But there is some truth in that for sure. So make sure you're spending your time with people that uplift you and give you energy and don't actually suck it from you. And what you'll find is your energy will actually go up, and you'll keep working hard, and you'll actually, enjoy your life, and energy will come from that, I'd say. So literally these three alone, I guarantee, if you stop wasting your time with energy vampires, if you stop watching the news and you spend more time with uplifting, inspiring people, or people that make you laugh and you enjoy being around, straight away you're going to feel like you've got a hell of a lot more energy. Number 4, this is one of the boring ones. Eat more single ingredient foods. I'm not going to go off on one like Eddie Abbew saying this is shit, this is shit, this is shit. But there is some truth in what he says. The more single ingredient foods that you eat, the more nutrient dense foods, the better you are going to feel. You're not going to be crashing as much, and your energy levels are going to be a lot better. Your sleep's going to be better. Your digestion's going to be better. So as a rule of thumb, what I say to my guys is try to get at least 80% of your foods from single ingredient foods. What do I mean by single ingredient foods? Basically, off an animal, off a tree, out the ground. That in a nutshell. Obviously, like for me personally, I don't just eat them things. I make sure it's seasoned. I make sure I've got low sugar sauces and things on there, because I don't like to eat things completely plain. But I'm always eating plenty of fruits, poultry, red meat, eggs, all that kind of good stuff, and it has made such a massive difference for my energy levels. Like, how many times do we go out at lunchtime because we haven't prepped anything, and we get pie and peas, or we go to the chip shop, and then in the afternoon we crash and feel absolutely awful? A lot of it is down to what we have eaten sometimes, and sometimes just being a little bit more proactive with what we're eating can make a huge difference for your energy. So number 5, another boring one, stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water. Overnight we become really dehydrated. Making sure that we're drinking plenty of water is going to help with your energy. It's as simple as that. First thing, when you get up in the morning, having some water in the morning is massive, rather than just straight away jumping for a coffee. A lot of people say you shouldn't have caffeine for the first 90 minutes of your day. Yes, that technically might be right, but for me personally, I get up in the morning, I'll have my water, then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll have a pre-workout. So I'll probably be having my first bit of caffeine about 45 minutes after I get up, and that works fine for me. But make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. And like I say, a good way of doing that is have a pint of water when you wake up in the morning, a pint of water with each meal that you have, and then maybe a litre of water when you're in the gym, and you will comfortably be getting enough in there. So, number 6, and this is another one that's a little bit outside the box. It's actually have something to look forward to. A lot of people start these fitness journeys and think, right, that's it, I've got to cut everything out of my life now. I've got to live like a monk, be a boring bastard and not do anything I enjoy. I can't have a drink ever again. I can't, go for meals out. I can't do the things I enjoy. That's not the case. I make sure every single week that I've got something in my diary, in my calendar that week that I'm looking forward to, whether that's a day away at Alton Towers, whether that's a meal out at the weekend, whether that's a date night with my partner. It's really important to have things to look forward to, because that can help you get through them days where you can't particularly be asked. Hence, going to give you more energy throughout, the day leading up to that event. So over the weekend, or, depending on what your shift patterns are, make sure on your days off you've got something planned in for fun. Number 7, another obvious one, exercise daily. And when I say exercise daily, that doesn't necessarily mean just going in the gym, having a big weight session and everything like that. Because in a lot of cases, lifting weights is only really needed 3, 4, 5 times a week, depending on what your goals are. But just getting some form of exercise in the day. So not laying around being a slob, going out, having a walk, maybe going for a little run. If you've got a dog, taking the dog out for a walk a couple of times a day, especially when it's coming into the warmer months now. Make sure, like I say, you're exercising regular. I always say mental health needs physical support. So if you are feeling down, tired, fed up, but you're just laying there, drinking, eating shit, get up, go for a walk, get some exercise in. You will always feel better, and it will help with your energy massively. Number 8, and this is one of the most neglected ones. People are worn out and knackered, but they literally have no fucking sleep routine. Now, I appreciate if you've got very young children that are up in the night, you've got shift patterns and things like that. Sometimes this can be a little bit tricky. But what you ought to be aiming to do is have a regular time when you go to bed and a regular time when you get up, best you can. You probably won't be perfect all the time, but try to get into a bit of a routine with that. If you can have a bedtime and a get up time, your body will get used to that. You'll build a circadian rhythm and you will naturally feel more energized at different points of the day. So if at the moment you're up till all hours gaming, Netflix, whatever that may be, getting 3, 4, 5 hours sleeping by choice, not because you've got small babies or anything like that, and then you're moaning that you've got no energy, come on, do you know what I mean? Let's get on top of that first. Good sleep is the foundation of energy. Like that simply put that. You're really going to struggle to get yourself into shape physically and feel good mentally if you're not getting an adequate amount of sleep. So number 9, clock off from work. Unless you're being paid an absolute fortune to be on your phone 24/7, be on your laptop 24/7, clock off. It's really, really important to compartmentalise these things in our life and make sure that when we're with our family, we're 100% focused on what we're doing there. When we're with our friends, we're 100% focused on what we're doing there. When we're at work, that's when we're 100% focused on there. When you're taking it home with you all the time, now like I say, I appreciate some people are in directors' roles, some people run their own companies, and it is very difficult to switch off in them situations. I know for me personally, running a coaching business, coaching myself, running a wrestling company, it is hard to switch off at times, but it makes such a huge difference when you can take off them hats and really compartmentalise things, and it will bring more energy into your life. And number 10, and this is a big one, is learning the ability to say no. Like, if you don't want to do something, simply say no to it. And I'm going to give you an example of that now. If you get peer pressured to go out on the beer with your friends every single week, but you're currently trying to get yourself into better shape, you try to feel better, and you know that drinking is a little bit of an issue for you, you can still go and see them and not drink alcohol and have a good time. I used to always think if I was going to go and see my friends, I'd need to be pissed up and I'm being boring. If not, nobody actually gives a shit. And having that ability to say no means the next day you're not going to feel absolutely awful. You won't have that post-beer anxiety. Now, I'm not saying don't have a beer again. You know, when the occasion calls for it, I do. I have a good drink. However, be selective and learn the ability to say no. And it's not just in the drinking scenario, it's in all scenarios as well. If you do not want to do something, say no. Because I find when I say yes to things that I don't truly want to do, all I do is end up in a bad mood, not want to be there doing that certain thing. And then that tanks my energy even more. And then, you know, there's been times when that's led to arguments with my partner and then we fall out and then the energy's shit there and it just flows. So they're the 10 things that I want you to focus on. Even if you just take 4, 5, 6 of these away from here, even if you can implement the sort of quote unquote boring ones, get yourself a sleep routine, start eating more single ingredient foods, drink more water and get some exercise. And I guarantee you, if you just do them 4 things, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. But then all the other ones as well, where we're talking about, you know, avoiding energy suckers, not watching the news, you know, putting your attention, you know, on the things that you can actually control, they're going to supplement on top of that. And I guarantee if you can implement the majority of these, you will feel like you have got more energy more of the time. So I hope they were helpful. I'd love to know in the comments which one stood out the most for you. Which things out of them 10 are you going to start implementing? And if you are struggling with your energy and you can't put your finger on it, and you can honestly say you are doing your absolute best with these 10 things, drop me a message and I'll do everything I can to help you. Like I said, I set up this coaching business to change the lives of men that are just worn out, stressed out, pissed off, working long hours, you know, family life, and truly want to get themselves into great physical shape, but also thriving in their lives as well. That's exactly why I set this up. So if you do want a little bit of a chat, please, I'm always available if you just drop me a message. But anyway, I hope that was useful. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Have an absolutely fantastic day, whatever you are doing. And if you are struggling for energy, check these out, save this video, come back to them. Have an awesome day.